who is he sitting there just licking his chops over that he's like, I need to get this guy here?
Obviously, I think everyone's looking at either one of the Tkachuk / both and be like, how can I get him to my team?
Would you hang on? If it meant getting both Tkachuks, would you get rid of Kaprizov as part of that transaction?
Oh God, I don't think I could do that. Like when I look at what I think Kaprizov's impact on this franchise is going to be for his whole career, I don't think I could possibly part ways with Kaprizov. Just don't think I could do it.
It's the right political answer.
You have to wonder if he's like, hey, Dylan, are you sure about Detroit? I don't think it's the right move, but like how good he was, like the way he, like, it's Billy's style of play too. And again, like the age and doesn't really make sense. And like the whole talk about like the contracts, like can he actually be a number one center on like a Stanley Cup team, whatever. But you have to think like if he was legitimately being like, after this tournament, like if it's I'm bringing this guy with the inclination, like, hey, maybe I make a move. Like I don't know how Dylan Larkin wouldn't be pretty close to the top of that list when you look at like the center position, how he plays, how good he's been since he stepped into the league. But
well, especially dude, like the way Russo like gushed about him, just like sitting next to him on the plane, the way he played. Like that's one of my questions for Russo tomorrow is who wants Larkin here more, you or Billy?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like it is an interesting one for sure because of fit and not knowing like what the long-term outlook is in Detroit. Like the Yzer plan is arguably a plan. I don't know. That's a fun one. And I just got to say, like, I know you were with me on this, Z, but to the people out there who like absolutely shit all over Jack Eichel before he was traded from Buffalo, what now?
Oh yeah,
fucking idiots.
He's so like, let's be clear,
good, dude. There probably wasn't a feasible way to get him here given the cap constraints, but like when I suggested this is a guy that's worth going all in for, like whatever it takes minus Kaprizov, people came back and didn't even say like, oh no, he won't fit. Like we can't make it work with the cap. They were like, no, he sucks. He's a locker room cancer. He's bad. Like you all are fucking idiots if you thought that. I don't even care if you're like a listener. You can be mad. Like if you shit on Jack Eichel because he wanted out of Buffalo because they were going to make him get a surgery he didn't want, loser.
And that being said, shout out Cody Eakin for making fun of him. What, like the first game back in Buffalo as Buffalo was winning and they took a face off and he just did the neck thing at him before taking the, like he delayed the face off so we could do this for like 10 seconds. That was so fucking funny.
I got no problem with that.
Outrageously funny. I was like, that fucking, there was like the 10 minutes, there was good vibes in Buffalo too. Like it was crazy. It was like, that is so funny.
The only good vibes we've seen in Buffalo since your boy Lucic ran Miller.
Yeah, that was good vibes. Paul Gosh, I was like, I guess I have to fight him. Just get the fucking wheels beat off him. Ruin the franchise. But I feel like those two, I guess, specifically from this tournament, if Billy was like, if I could figure out a way to get those guys, I feel like how good they were. I fucking love watching the way that Jack Eichel passes. I don't know what it is, but it's always perfectly weighted, hitting guys in stride. Like that Gensel, the first goal that Gensel scored against Canada, even that pass sending him in, like he fluttered it over and it was tape to tape in stride. It's like, it's every time he makes a pass, it's fucking perfect. And obviously he can score goals himself. He's just an incredible fucking hockey player. But he is so fun to watch and just a fascinating skater too, because it doesn't look like he's moving fast the way that he moves, just his like skating style, but he flies.
Dude, I got a notification 45 minutes ago. Shout out our very dedicated listener, Sean Cosgrove. I don't know what he said, but he definitely went and commented on the video that I posted on TikTok. So now there's going to be at least one view.
I hope it stays at one. I hope the view count stays at one. Or 0 views, 1 comment.
Oh, God. Yeah, it doesn't even count as a view.
Yeah.
That would actually make me feel way better. It's like, oh, okay, maybe were actually views.
Comments, hey man, I can't believe this doesn't have any views. This is a great. That being said, I still didn't view it though, but like I think it's
no, disagree. This sucks.
You really posted this? I bet you thought you did something.
The next one I do will just be different sequences of Millhouse dancing. That's going to be one of my next AI moves. Maybe Cosgrove, you should just beat me to this and do it yourself. But some of the unhinged comments that Cosgrove makes in here, I'm going to like do an AI thing where I just basically make it so that Millhouse is actually saying the things that Cosgrove comments. It'd be pretty good. All right, well let's get more into Minnesota Wild specific stuff, which I mean that was the start of it, certainly, with talking Billy G trade targets, even though, let's be real, deadline's probably going to be pretty dull. Interesting, though, with all the like Larkin stuff, we get back-to-back Detroit games, and the one on Saturday was certainly interesting, to say the least. What are your takeaways? Also, like, credit where it's due to Brett Marshall, analytics guru for the Sota Pod. Posted the picture that Mateo has right here on the screen for those watching and said events that precede, or I don't remember what it's called. What is it? Like preceding unfortunate events? I don't know. But for those listening, it is Larkin sitting in the penalty box, pointing up at the scoreboard, and Detroit's up 3-1, and we know where it went from there.
You'll be shocked to learn that he's yelling at Joel Eriksson for pissing off the entire fucking Detroit Red Wing lineup for like.
It's not shocking at all.
It was like an incredible sequence too. Like, what a play with the stick on the penalty kill by Eriksson. Gets that an uncontested breakaway. Doesn't even consider trying to not run Talbot. Like, I mean, it was just square. I was like, that's so funny. The most the classic Eriksson face in those scrums are like, what? What the fuck? Me? I didn't do anything. But what a fucking game in general. Obviously, like coming out of the gate looked rough. Yeah. But like by the end, it was an incredible hockey game. Like just super physical. By the way, what a hit by DeBrincat on like beautiful hit, and he rocked him.
Dude,
chaos ensues. I had people yelling at me. I posted the video. All I said was DeBrincat levels whatever Faber and like whatever chaos ensues. People were messaging me again. I don't know, like, oh, is that not a good hit, you pussy? I was like, all I did was say it was a great hit. Look, I don't fucking
reading comprehension on Twitter is limited, we'll say. But what we really got to talk about is Brock Faber just being fucking Iron Man for Team USA. Like, holy shit. And I literally clipped I took a screenshot of your tweets about Brock Faber's ridiculous numbers. Oh, I sent you the video actually on this one. That one did okay. That one actually got more than 0 views. But that with Grandma's Boy, high score is that bad? High score, did I break it? Nick Swartzen is my hero.
What does that mean? Is that
my numbers of Brainasium are limited here? Oh no.
Another tweet that I put out that got the weirdest replies of all time was just the fact that Brock Faber played 28 minutes and 50 seconds on Thursday night in a gold medal game against Canada. 36 hours later, plays 30 minutes against Detroit in that overtime win, which was at noon, I guess, Central, right? Yeah.
11:30.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was noon here. That's right. That's insane. And people were being like, not that different than like playing back to back in the NHL. I'm like, yeah, okay, very different, because one was a gold medal game on a Thursday night, flying out to fucking Detroit, and then playing 30 minutes at noon. Like, that's crazy. But like I had people being like, it's not that hard. Someone goes, stop glazing, which apparently you can't like compliment dudes anymore without being like, oh fucking glaze. I was like, Jesus, ew, fucking that's weird. Good lord. But what a fucking like animal this kid is. Like he just doesn't get tired. In the words of Mark Messier and Subban, it's like he takes the glasses off and he becomes Superman. That's what they said before the game was great.
Straight up the hockey images that precede, not proceed, unfortunate events. The Chicago Blackhawks fans that went off the first game of the tournament because Brock Faber's like underlying numbers weren't great, even though he like had a great game objectively, to come out and finish the way he did, then do what he did in Detroit. Like Chicago Blackhawks fans are in shambles. Like
misery.
National media is calling out their boy Bedard. They have no support staff. Seth Jones wants to be traded, but there's no one that fucking wants him because his contract is too many more years and too much money. Like, I don't feel bad for Chicago fans because, like, screw them. But, like, if it was a different market, I'd feel really bad for Chicago fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going hard.
And it's interesting, too, like, especially, like, out here in Boston, like, after the Four Nations, it's always interesting, too. It's like, it was a couple of years ago now, and, like, we're now fucking post Four Nations, be like, if I could have redone my ballot, you know, I probably would have put like Faber rookie there. I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, you can't. Like, why would you like, now? Like, if I another year later for an international tournament, if I knew now, if I knew then what I know now, I feel like that literally doesn't make sense.
Dude, it's everyone that like, how are people still finding out about Brock Faber? Like, even Keith Yandel on Chicklets was like, I knew nothing about this kid. Holy fuck. Is he good? It's like, so you don't watch hockey. That's what you're saying. Like, and like, I love Keith Yandel, but like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Just like the best one. This is a while ago, Z, but the Chicklets Chicklets guys had absolutely no idea who Ferraro was for San Jose. It's like, how do you not know the number one defenseman for any NHL team if you cover the NHL? That's tough. No,
it's tough luck. It's tough luck.
But then Biz goes out and fights 6 guys at a local Arizona restaurant, and everyone forgets. So it's good.
There you go. But either way, that Detroit game, incredible hockey game, super physical start to finish. Anytime like a fucking matinee game is like anarchy, I'm like, these guys are sick in the head. It's like noon, everyone's just pissed off, like in the middle of February, and they're just like throwing insane hits, just killing each other every fucking stoppage. There's a scrum. Eriksson actually is doing his thing. Zach Bogosian tries to kill someone every game now, which is always fascinating. Like he just picks a random target and like has to be physically separated by like 4 refs, get him away from like the most random person possible.
I like that though. Go random. Like then they're always guessing and looking over their shoulder. Like if you only go for the studs, everyone else doesn't care. But like if no one knows who you're coming after, everyone's scared.
Wild card, which is yeah.
I cut the brake cord.
Yeah. Was it? Oh yeah, no, against Chicago, it was like they scored a goal because he was just 15 feet away from the play trying to fight fucking Donato. I think it was that game. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Dude, how many times have we talked? I mean, like Marco Rossi. Thought he made a lot of really good small plays. Like specifically, there was one where he outmuscled someone in front of the net to win a loose puck. Who, like, I forget which defenseman it was. Oh no, it was Edvinsson.
The game,
it was Edvinsson, who is 6'6", and just an animal.
6'6"?
Yeah,
shit.
6'5", 6'6", something like that.
I knew he was big. I didn't know he was 6'6". Damn,
he might be 6'3". But I don't know. Either way, like,
hang on. Is he taller than 6 foot?
He is taller than 6 foot, so he's
8 feet tall. 8 feet tall.
Yeah. But like he made a lot of really small plays like that throughout the game. And then of course he steps up, has the primary assist on Foligno's game tying goal with the goalie pulled. Takes over what a fucking dive, by the way, from Kane in overtime, and then exits the box and scores the funniest OT winner ever. And then after the game just goes, yeah, the refs suck today, but you know, it's all right. It happens. I was like, oh my, you can't say that. I was like, you can't fucking say, you can just do that. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. So
But just
how
like,
did he
again,
not get dinged? Is it because it's Marco Rossi that he didn't get dinged? Like if Ryan Hartman said that, 20 games.
yeah.
Done and done.
Yeah, who knows? But like again, like as far as big time eye popping offensive plays, like he didn't really pop throughout the game. But then again, in big moments, late in games, big moments, like he shows up again. The primary assist on Foligno, but shout out Marcus Foligno was great against Detroit. Gets him the game tying goal, and then again wins it in overtime. Like he's just going and producing in the biggest moments when guys like Kaprizov's out. The same thing when Eriksson was out. Like when they're missing half the lineup, he's just been so consistent all year long. Like, what do we have to do to lock him up? Like, please sign this kid. It's driving me crazy. He's one goal away from tying last season's. He's got 20 now. He had 21 last year. He surpassed the assist and point total already, like a few games ago. Like, he's just incredible. Like, I love Marco Rossi. I want him to stay here
I've never heard of
forever.
him.
And again, just another big time moment for him in this game versus Detroit. So shout out Marco Rossi.
That was a very funny game-winning goal for sure.
Incredible. Like he could have been like, yeah, it was almost like a Kucherov kind of. If Kucherov drank 50 Bud Lights before that move, you know, like it was like, oh shit. I saw.
It was funny that he just like was basically like, yeah, no, totally an accident, or was it?
Well, and the thing that also made it potentially ridiculous was the fact that we still didn't know. I mean, I guess enough time had passed where like Toronto didn't sound usually like if it's because I thought that shot from Kane went in the way it bounced out, and then we see the replay after, like what a fucking shoulder save from Fleury off
Stanley
the
Cup
post.
final all over again, man.
Somehow comes out the way that it came, like it bounced off the post, so it looked like it hit the back bar. So like part of me was like, I still don't know if Kane's shot went in. So that we're waiting if this ridiculous goal that barely went over the line is the OT winner, because like a minute ago it looked like Kane scored in overtime. But then again, they show the replay, and what a save by Fleury. Fleury had a couple insane saves that game too. But yeah, no, it started rough, didn't look great at the beginning, obviously, but it ended up being like a fucking awesome hockey game. And again, just ridiculous that Brock Faber played that much, like within 36 hours. Like it's crazy.
At this point, though, like it makes me really sad, but like I'm numb to it. Like it's not shocking to me. Like I'm just like, oh yeah, that's Brock Faber. Like,
yeah, what's his fucking full? This is his second full year in the league. He's played 9 games where he's played over 30 minutes. That's insane.
That's very insane. And like people lost their minds over that trade.
Yeah.
Which like let's throw it out there because this is actually important. This is a random side tangent, but pretty sure little man's first game is going to be in 2 weeks, Pittsburgh here against the Wild. My wife is going to be wearing her Kevin Fiala jersey because she still loves him. I'm going to be wearing my Phil Kessel Penguins jersey because I'll always love him more than everyone except for little man. What's he wear? Do I just get like a onesie that says like, I hope everyone has a good time? Do I like put him in like a penguin costume and put like a Wild shirt over it? Like, how do I maneuver this?
I kind of like
sure
that.
He's primed for the Simba Cam. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I like that.
What's the move? Like, brainstorm with me. Like, how do I properly set him up? Minus the earmuffs that he absolutely has to have, otherwise hearing's gone forever. But like, what's the move?
I like the penguin costume idea. We just figure out a Wild logo in there somewhere where it's like, I don't know what to make of this kid right now.
I mean, you could just put like a Wild shirt on over the penguin costume. That's doable. True. I don't know.
Yeah, Wild shirt over a penguin onesie. Yeah, that works.
All right, well, that was a really short conversation. Back on track then. Oh, Cooley, Utah jersey. that plays. Interesting. No, it's got to be the Kachina.
Mm-hmm.
Only way it works. Man Cub pig costume. I like that. All right, Cosgrove wins again, as always. Let's get into the fun topic that no one knows what to do with, Z. Kirill Kaprizov. People are, for some weird reason, like getting all bent out of shape. Like, oh, it's more than 4 weeks. It's like the original prognosis was like probably 4 to 6 weeks, but we're not sure. And there are a lot of fans out there that have seen what happened for Tampa, for Vegas. No one likes to acknowledge that Chicago was the first piece of shit team to do it. Whatever. Fans wanting Kaprizov to be out until the playoffs so he can make a big move. How do you feel about that?
No.
That's the worst idea ever because, oh, wait, we kind of need him.
Like, literally. That's
if he's not back, like, tell you what, if you promised me we could squeak in as the second wild card, fine, I'll kind of entertain it. But also, like, Russo made a pretty good point that Kaprizov doesn't just like come in and dominate. Like, he needs a good like 4 or 5 game buffer before he's really full Kaprizov.
And I mean, I can't imagine that conversation with him would go well. He's already pissed right now about not being ready to play.
I think it's less holding him out than like fans being like, gosh, I hope his recovery takes him up until close to that so that they can wait. I just don't agree. Like, we need him back because the team has performed admirably, but like, dude, March, a lot of home games, which everyone, whether you go pregame, postgame, hit up Barrel Theory, and at the rink, they have incredible options. Crowler, draft IPA, whatever. Best beers at the X. Undebatable. We got a lot of home games, and that's scary. The Wild fucking suck at home.
It's so weird.
We need Kirill Kaprizov back before March. We do. And it's not going to happen, but we need him back as soon as possible in March because I don't know how we win a home game without Kirill Kaprizov. How do we do it?
No, it's not allowed, actually. That's what's going on.
Even when he's in, it's barely allowed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, again, the bigger point is just the fact that, like, as Russo was mentioning, like, he does usually take a little bit of time just to warm up and get going. Obviously, this year was the year that he really just, like, popped off immediately, but, like, we want him playing games for the playoffs, getting back into that groove. This is, like, I feel the first time he's been out for, like, extended period of time, like, for this long anyways, with, like, a surgery or whatever.
This extended, yeah. But
yeah,
it would be the most Minnesota Wild thing ever to be the first team to like have their star player out on LTIR and everyone be like, oh no, they're cheating. This is bullshit. And then just not make the playoffs.
yeah.
And especially in a year where we don't have our first as it currently stands.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm out on that idea. Get him back as soon as possible. Get him playing games.
Agreed.
Simple as that. Of course, it also coincides, like, the report that he's going to be out longer than expected comes out at the same time with, like, the McAvoy Wild Doc thing. It's like, Jesus Christ, this isn't really that related, but my God.
People losing their minds over that for sure.
It's unbelievable.
Dude, the bigger thing for me, too, is, like, it's not just a matter of, oh, we can bring in an awesome player. Like, you have to fucking acquire them. Like, are we really in a position where we think we can win the Stanley Cup if we bring in one key player?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Now, could we win a round or two? Yeah, that'd be cool. But are you going to like sell the future to do that? Because if you're going to bring in that meaningful of a piece, it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
I'm not trading any of our top 5 prospects to do something like that. And that's what it's going to take because you don't have this year's first to play with. And sure as shit, Garen's not giving up 2 consecutive first-round picks in back-to-back drafts. That's no. So what are we talking about here? Like, who are we going to go get and what are they going to cost? And how are they going to even come close to Kaprizov's regular season production? I'm very, very out on the notion of I want Kaprizov to be on LTIR until playoffs start. Mm-hmm. But horrible idea. I understand where fans are coming from, mostly because they're frustrated about what's happened in the past, but like I'm so out on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yep. Jupe, GPL agrees. Don't waste your money this season. It's not happening. It's not. Now, a couple of years from now, and let's go back to our conversation earlier, Z, of targets for Mike Sullivan. Targets for Bill Guerin. I think Mike Sullivan's at the top of the list. I just mushed that up. But like, for real, I've said it multiple times. I'll keep saying it. It's around the 2026, 2027 mark where the Penguins are going to move on from Mike Sullivan. And how do you not bring him in? So many people are like, oh, he's not that good of a coach. Someone commented when I said that, like, the Wild will bring him in and he'll be the coach that wins it for them. And it's like, he hasn't done anything since the back-to-back cups. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, like he had the best rosters ever and won back-to-back. Like, first off, like, that doesn't just happen. Like, the Penguins were in a bad spot before he took over. And then we're going to ignore the fact that they've had dog shit lineups thanks to fucking Brian Burke and Ronnie Textall. I don't have words for you.
Yeah.
Mike Sullivan is a top 5 coach in this league, period. You guys want to argue with me? You know where to find me.
Ooh, gauntlet. Fucking throw it down. Motherfucker. Yeah, well, on fire.
Yeah. So, yeah. We can move on from that. Yeah, hopefully Kaprizov comes back as soon as possible. But, like, this isn't news. This isn't a shock. It's going to be a minute before he's back. But I got to think sometime in March he's back and playing. And if he's not, that's scarier. And I guess at that point, yeah, if you think you can add something at the deadline and you know he's going to be out, see if something works. But I just don't see a way where it's worth giving up what you'd have to. So
here's a scenario. Kaprizov's out until first game back is when Washington comes to town, because Alex Ovechkin has 13 goals to go. They play 14 times before they're in Minnesota at the end of March. He comes back. And Ovechkin does the thing in Minnesota, which is also funny that, like, I feel like everyone should want that. It's like, I don't care if we lose by fucking 10 goals.
I'm be honest, dude. Like, this is going to sound super hater. Like, I want Fleury to play that game, and I want Ovi to get it against him because, like, that's just, like, such a cool, like, Clash of Titans, like, legacy. Yeah. Like, everyone will remember it. And Fleury's probably the only goalie that can, like, get over Ovechkin getting the record on you, right? Like, Fleury can shake it off, like, whatever. People are going to remember me. It is what it is. I've done my thing. Man, that's going to be a really interesting, like, he could get it here. It's going to be interesting. I would love to watch it. I'm going to be at that game. It's going to be very fun. What if we went straight up 2009 postseason and we got dueling hat tricks for him to get it? Him and Kaprizov both get a hat trick and Ovi breaks the record. Who's mad? Who is mad?
The biggest haters.
Besides Gretzky.
No, that would rule. I'm all in.
Oh my God. Sean Cosgrove, Fleury pulls a Favre and falls down to give him the record. Woo!
Whoops.
And yeah, Cosgrove, I've been on that for a while. I'm with you. Hextall was a flyer and definitely took the Penguins down on purpose. I thought Brian Burke would protect me.
Nope.
Not at all. Cole, I disagree. He says he doubts Hines would play Fleury if it's got a chance of happening, sadly. I think Fleury's like, I want this. I want to be out there to stop him or be beat by him. Like, it's like one of the last challenges he can take on since he's not going to score a goal or get a goalie fight because the refs hate him.
It's true.
God, if he can fight Binnington, like the amount of money I would pay for that to occur.
Oh, yeah.
I need it.
I can't believe we got robbed of that too. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunate. It's really sad. All of the sadness in Minnesota. You're learning it. Last Minnesota Wild topic. Ryan Hartman negotiates from 10 down to 8. Could have negotiated further and was like, no, I'm happy. We're good.
That's how.
Gets it down to 8, which is, I guess, good. It's like weird. Like, why was it 10 if it was like so easy for Bettman to be like, yeah, it seemed like a steep climb from his previous like high of 3 games to go all the way to 10, but 8 feels right. It's like, feels like we're just making it up at this point.
I feel vindicated because I'm pretty sure I had this conversation when the Wild were out here, when I was hanging out with some of the fellas from.
We gonna
not,
talk about that?
Not the players. Not the players.
No, we gonna talk about that at all?
That's not who I'm talking about. But like we were throwing out like what we thought. I was like, I feel like it's gonna be 8. Like 8 felt right to me. I think I said it on here too. Like
on
right
here, you said.
before.
I think you said 6 on here.
Did I say 6? Fuck.
But
in my head, I was convinced it was 8.
In your defense, Z, I was like, oh no, it's gonna be lower.
He's actually getting a bonus.
It was so funny because I think my exact words too were like I think because you brought up the idea of it being 10, you're like, oh, dude, could they go 10? I'm like, no chance they go 10. And then like,
that's what it was.
3 hours later, 10 games. I'm like, fuck me.
I can't remember if it was on here or if it was with when the guys were out here. I was like, it's either going to be 6 on the nose, or if it's not 6, it's 10. That's where I was at. So now I'm not.
And you split the difference with 8. There we go.
I'm still a loser.
This one's for Sean Cosgrove. I am so smart. I am so smart. SMRT. I mean SMART.
It'll be interesting to see how. So how many games does he have before he can play again?
He's back on March 4th, I think.
Okay.
If that's a day that we play.
Yeah, and I mean, like realistically, any player who's been suspended multiple times, when they come back, like, yeah, it's obviously a wake up call, blah blah. But that's what he said. So it'll be interesting to see how if he changes game whatsoever. I don't know if he knows how to do that, but like, again, that was an absolutely ridiculous play. Like it was insane.
Agreed. But I disagree that he has to change his game. Like,
right.
He can play his same rat game without doing stupid shit like that.
Right.
Like, there's a line that he very much crossed and was fucking dumb. But like the way he largely plays his game, being a piece of shit, like getting in people's face, doing borderline stuff, fucking do that all day. That's your game. That's your bread and butter. But it's like there's people out there that are like, oh, he's like skilled. He should just play straight up. Like, no, that's not conducive to him. Like he gets into the game by being a piece of shit. And like I say that in a positive way. Like I'm not like shitting on him. Like being a piece of shit. It's Brad Marchand. It's Matthew Tkachuk. Like being a piece of shit's good if you're smart about it. He was very dumb about it. I want him to keep being a piece of shit. Just don't be that fucking dumb. Don't give them no choice but to sussy your ass. Like, come on.
Yeah. I guess that's more so where I was going. It was just like I'm curious to see if like when he says like it's a learning experience, whatever, like taking a huge lesson from it, if that actually is like, because if he does try to play a different way, that will absolutely alter his game. That's more so what I meant. If he's like constantly thinking on the ice, like, I can do this, I can't do that, that will affect his play. Because like part of his success is being like a piece of shit on the ice, like a Konechny, like a Marchand, like a Tkachuk, like all that stuff. So he's a fucking great player. Like, and it's just like there have been so many of those sequences where it's like there's also been other plays where he's lucky that like he didn't get something and like it was sneaky enough or just like so borderline. And then this was the big one that was like unbelievably egregious, painfully obvious. And it's just like, bro, you're lucky that like you didn't fully land on his head. Like it's crazy.
No, he's probably like, it was really unlucky that I didn't, because that's what I tried.
That's probably it.
And that's I mean, that's why we love him, but it's also like, dude, just like pick your spots. Like do it right.